In the heart of a small, forgotten town stood a decrepit and abandoned carnival, known to locals as the Carnival of Shadows. Its rusted rides and faded banners whispered tales of eerie occurrences that had taken place years ago. Most avoided it, but a group of daring teenagers decided to explore the haunting relics of the past. On the night of the harvest moon, Jenna, Jake, Sarah, and Mark gathered at the carnival's entrance, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. Their eager faces masked their trepidation as they ventured into the eerie realm. They headed straight for the main attraction, the Ferris wheel. As they approached, the Ferris wheel creaked ominously, its skeletal structure looming high above them. Moonlight filtered through the gaps in the metal, casting eerie shadows that seemed to dance. Jenna, the bravest of the group, led the way to the control booth. Inside, they found an old control panel covered in dust and cobwebs. Mark, the tech geek, examined it and miraculously managed to bring the Ferris wheel to life. With an eerie groan, it lurched into motion. The rickety seats swung out and slowly began to ascend into the night. The friends settled into their seats, gazing out at the moonlit carnival grounds below. For a moment, the ride felt almost normal, but then strange things began to happen. The rusty joints of the Ferris wheel started to scream in protest, sounding like anguished cries from the past. As they reached the highest point, the world around them shifted. The carnival transformed from its abandoned state into a vivid, bustling fairground from decades past. The music of a bygone era filled the air, mingling with the delighted laughter of children. Jenna's flashlight flickered, casting eerie shadows on the Ferris wheel's metal frame. Sarah clutched her chest, trembling with fear, while Jake and Mark exchanged terrified glances. They were trapped in a nightmarish time warp. Just as panic began to consume them, the atmosphere shifted again. The cheerful scene warped into one of chaos and terror. They were now surrounded by ghostly apparitions, the tormented souls of carnival goers who had met a grisly end. The Ferris wheel spun uncontrollably, flinging the friends around like rag dolls. Jenna screamed as a phantom hand reached out to grab her ankle. Mark fought off ethereal figures clawing at his arms, while Jake and Sarah clung desperately to their seats. In a final spine-chilling twist, the Ferris wheel screeched to a halt at its base platform. Before them stood the carnival's sinister ringmaster, a ghastly figure with hollow eyes and a wicked grin. He beckoned them to join the carnival's haunted legacy. The teenagers stumbled out of the Ferris wheel, their hearts pounded in their chests. Gasping for breath, Jenna turned to her friends, her voice quivering. "We have to get out of here now!" They nodded in frantic agreement and began to run, their footsteps echoing through the deserted fairgrounds. Behind them, the Ferris wheel rumbled ominously, as if displeased with their escape. But just as they reached the entrance, the carnival came alive one last time. The derelict rides and tattered banners burst into spectral, multicolored lights, and eerie music filled the air. The teenagers froze, their terror renewed as they realized the gates were locked, and there stood the carnival's sinister ringmaster, keeping them in like caged animals. As the ghostly figures of carnival goers, their faces twisted in agony, descended upon them.